Guys, so it is Simply Simming here doing the yellow house for my Monopoly series. This house is done from London is what the property was called. So it's a European style house. So it's just pretty simple. I love this house because they had this really interesting balcony. It's not really a balcony, I don't know really to call it. Which is what I'm trying to figure out now. And the roof was my hardest challenge because they had I could only see one side of the house, but I could also tell that they had a pitched roof, and it's kind of like a cottage at the same time in some ways. So, and I do want to apologize that this video is up late. I've just been having everything's just not been working out with this video. And I'll explain more on that in a couple of seconds. So as you can see, I finished the roof, and I'm moving on to the garage. Originally I was just going to do a 1-car garage, but I decided to go with a 2-car garage instead. And I put some shrubberies around here to give you guys a little walkway. I love putting these hedges for a walkway. It looks nice. And this is from a lot in Bridgeport. It was originally a community lot, and I just deleted everything on there and reset it for a residential lot because I loved the view that it had. And this is the balcony I'm talking about. You will not be able to access this part of the house. It's just there purely for decoration. I mean, if you want to, you can put a glass door there, or even a door, any door really. It's not in the design that is in the game, so I did not put it in this house. And I do want to state that I realized I did not put my picture of what the house in the game looked like for the brown video, and I do apologize for that. Just didn't really happen. So as you can see, I'm doing a flower bed right now, and I'm just using these purple flowers and some trees. Nothing too fancy going on here, just pretty simplistic. And as you can see, this house is built on a hill, or rather a mountainside. So I didn't want the fence to go all the way back because you do have that mountain and it drops off. But instead, I went and I put this platform here to kind of give you like a separate deck area so there you can still overlook the mountain and see everything. And I decided not to do 3 stairs, just do 2 stairs. 3 sets of stairs just seemed too much. So as you can tell, I had a little bit of a hard time deciding what fence I wanted to use. I just couldn't figure it out. So I wanted a fence because you are higher up, and I did not want to, just for safety reasons. I decided to not go with this red fence. I decided to just go with the glass fence that matches the stairs because you will get the view better with the glass than anything else. So right now I am raising some of the terrain here. This is going to be for a pool, and I liked the idea of having this risen terrain for the pool because I wanted to do something different with this pool. And actually, it took me some time to figure this part out. I had a hard time figuring it out and figuring out the way it would look. But as you can see, there's a little space in the pool that is empty. There's no water there. What I decided to do was to put a deck there, just to kind of give you, I don't know why I put it there, but it looks cool. And this is what actually took me the longest time because I could not get it to connect for some odd reason. And you can still use the pool. You're literally swimming underneath this deck, and I mean there's only like 1 or 2 pieces of floor that you worry about. And as you can tell, I'm having extreme difficulties with it because I did not realize that it was on level at the time. So I fixed it, and I did it off camera because it took me a good 30 minutes to fix it. So that's the way it looks now. It just took me forever to fix. And I always have a hard time figuring out what stairs I want to use, because I don't like the way the glass ones looked. I didn't want there to be carpeting, which is the next stairs that I decided to go with. But at the same time, I finally decided to go with these dark, rich stairs and just leave it alone. And I did not want railings. I just didn't want railings. There's nothing really else to state. So now I want a pool slide or a fountain for this pool, and I had a hard time getting anything to go for this pool, so I ended up having to enlarge it a lot more than I had intended, but it still looks amazing, and it still is really cool the way it happened and the way it came out. So as you can see, the pool is now really big, it's enlarged. There's the slide I was talking about, and again I had to enlarge it because I did not realize that the part for the fountain was on a slope. So I enlarged it a little bit more, put the fountain. So now you have the pool finished, and I went ahead and put on fencing next, because it's a pool, you're going to need fencing. So just stuck with the same fencing that I used for the rest of the yard, and you have a little gap there for stairs. Because of how high it is, I put stairs in there just to be on the safe side. So there's the stairs, and again, I left the railings on this particular set of stairs because unlike for the deck, it's more, I don't know why I left this railings on. I just figured it's more stability, and I'm just softening the edges to make it look more natural and not man done. So now you have the basic outline of the backyard. So I went ahead, and you're on a hill, you're in the mountaintops, you're going to need some trees to make you feel like you're in the mountains. So I got these very, very tall fir trees. They are all around this property, and I figured make it seem as natural as possible. So there's all the fir trees, and I put some flowers in that empty space there because it's wildflowers. Why not? I was going to do a rock or two, but I just decided on flowers. And I just went with a bunch of flowers. I really didn't pay too much attention to how I placed them because my whole theme and my whole design for it was wildflowers, and I really wanted it not to have a set position, but to kind of just grow wherever it wanted to grow type of feel. So that's where it came out. So now I'm working, and I put up the garage doors, and like I said, I was originally just going to have this be a 1-car garage. It ended up being a 2-car garage. So, and I went with a wrought iron door for the front entryway. I loved the way it looked, especially with the siding that I used for this house. And the one thing that I could not do in this design was the windows for the balcony. They had these beautiful, tall, curved windows, but I could not find the correct windows to use it to make that happen on this game, unfortunately. So now we're beginning to work on the inside, and I'm just putting 2 sets of stairs there. I originally was just going to use a double stair, or a stair that was 2 in length, however you want to say it. I decided to do this because I wanted to do something different. This is going to be a 3-bedroom, 2.5 bath house. There's going to be a office area, a laundry room, and just a separate spare room. Right now we did the master bedroom, framed in the master bathroom, one of the other bedrooms, the guest bathroom, and the master walk-in closet, as well as the 3rd bedroom. There's a lot of open space in this house, which I love. I love how big it feels when it's not really big. And that's kind of like the feel I wanted to go for. And I love this openness on the top floor to where you can actually see underneath into the main story. So as you can see, I just went with the white carpet for the bedrooms, and I went ahead and put colored tiling in the bathrooms just to give me a theme, and I just went with wood throughout the rest of the house for the most part. So as you can see, this small space here is going to be a half bath. There's literally nothing more in there but a sink and a toilet. That is it. So that little green and white tile room is going to be the laundry room. And again, I put metal in the garage. That's what it's called, the garage. My mind is not working today. So now I'm just putting all these doors, and I put a double door for the master bedroom to give it some definition. And they're not that much bigger. The master is not that much bigger than the other bedrooms. Now we're just adding windows galore. And as you can tell, I'm deleting some of the windows. I did not like all of them there. I wanted to bring a lot of light into this house in the best way possible. So up here by the staircase, I used the same windows as I did in the master bedroom and completely lined that back wall. The reason I did that is because I wanted to take advantage of the view that this house has. And then I just put some double doors getting out into the backyard, because that's literally the only way you can get into the backyard. The next thing I did was I worked on this pond, and I had a little hard time. I wanted to do something different with it, and it just didn't come out the way I wanted it to, so I fooled around with it, finally got it the way I liked it, and this is actually my first time making a pond, so I really didn't know how this worked. So it was definitely new to me, and I was shocked at how quick it happened, how quick I was able to create it. I did use one sheet for this pond, which is the Move Objects On sheet, because I wanted to decorate the pond, especially the area around it. So I used the Move Objects On sheet to get these rocks to be extremely close together and to kind of give you like a bumpy, I don't know, I love the way the rocks looked. And then I used these yellow and red flowers to cover, and there's some lilies there. And then I just used regular hedges to kind of fill in some of the space. And this pond has a lot of flowers going around it, and the reason why is I didn't put a lot of flowers in this yard, except for in those 2 flower beds in the first place. So I wanted to make up for that. And right now we're working on the kitchen. This is a larger kitchen in this house. And I really like the way the kitchen turned out. I had a hard time doing the island or the bar area because I have those stairs there. I wanted to make sure I could have about 5 or 6 bar stools for the kitchen, but if I would have put the bar stools where I had them, it wouldn't have worked. So I ended up having to just use the Move Objects On sheet for the kitchen so I could overlap a couple of items. And I actually recently figured this out. When you are using the Move Objects On sheet, you cannot put upper cabinets in. It will not allow you, and it says that you cannot do it. I did not know that. I actually figured it out when I'm putting these cabinets in. You can only put a certain amount in, and then like all these cabinets right now, it was telling me I can't do it. So I just typed in Move Objects Off, and I was able to do it now. I don't know why, but it wasn't letting me, so I figured I would let you guys know. Maybe you guys knew that, maybe you guys didn't. And just to let you guys know, these are not the cabinets for the upper cabinets. I did not like the way they looked, and I realized they did not match my lower cabinets. So I found the right ones, and I fixed it. But there's a lot of counter space in this house, which I really, really like. I actually do realize I'm a few seconds off on this video. The video's a couple seconds later, so I do apologize for that. Again, I'm making this while watching the video on my own, so right now I always use this pretty much the same sink, fridge, and stove. It's just the norm and the comfortability that I have. And I use blender, microwave, and coffee maker. So the next area I worked on is the living room. And if you guys did not know this, there's a couple sets of chairs that you can actually create a sectional with. For the longest time, I did not realize where these are. If you go into sort by category and just click on the seating part, then they're right there. So I went with that, and I went with this green one. And as you can see, I still have the Move Objects cheat on. Move Objects on cheat. I'm still using it to do the end table, and I decided to turn it off to make this TV, just because I had to move the window and stuff to get it to work. So the next area is this playroom for the kids. It's right behind the living room, and I really didn't know what else to do with this space, so I just decided to designate it for kids. And there's like one of every single toy possible in the Sims 3 that I have to my name in this kids play area. So the next thing is this little desk area. It's just a desk, a chair, a computer, and a bookshelf. I wanted it simple. I wanted it to be relatively, nothing too fancy, because I did use the office space as a music room. And I decided to, originally I was going to put the musical instruments in this room. I decided out of it. I didn't really like how cramped it was. So I ended up putting workout equipment in that room, just because you only have 1 or 2 workout equipment, and that's it. So all the musical equipment went into the bigger room right there. And all 3 of those rooms are connected through one door. You have to go through the music room to get to the laundry room. You have to go to the laundry room to get to the workout room. So this dining room table, I wanted to go with light and dark woods, especially for the contrasting between the dining room table and the chairs. And I went with green bar stools to play off the green couch that you have. I wanted to keep this very, very crisp, clean colors. Lots of light, lots of dark, lots of pops of color here and there. So like I said, this half bathroom literally only has a toilet and a sink. Nothing more, and it is literally the perfect size. Because you don't want a huge half bath, you don't want it to be too small, and it works. And once again, I used the Move Objects on cheat because I love the way that the counters came out in this space. Obviously, you can't use them. It just looked a lot better than just having a washer and dryer in there. So upstairs we have the master bedroom right now. Very simple. I didn't really put a lot of furnishings into the bedrooms. I wanted to keep it as simple as possible, especially with the master bedroom, because you have this huge master bathroom, and I didn't have to stay with that tub. It didn't look right to me. So you have a lot of space in this master bathroom, and the master bedroom on top of it. And obviously it's done with like this nautical theme. So now what I'm doing is I deleted the door to the closet, which will be fixed towards the end of the video. I will put an archway there, and again, using the move objects on sheet. That's like I think that's the only cheat I used for this video, is the move objects on sheet. I went ahead and filled this room with as many dressers as I thought was needed. I ended up deleting one just to give room for the arch. I went ahead and I put these I ended up just keeping 2 chairs here, just kind of give you guys a viewing area of the windows. So the next thing I did was I went ahead and worked on this guest bathroom, or the second bathroom upstairs, and I kept it going with this blue theme. I wanted it to be simple. I didn't want it to be too fancy, so I just went with simple blue. That's it. And I ended up going back to the master bathroom. I did not have sinks in the master bathroom. I completely forgot about them. And then I just moved things around to make it flow nicer. So the next thing I worked on is this guest bedroom. And as you can tell, it is very simple. I put a couple kids' toys in there, and a space mobile, and a couple decorations, but I kept it as simple as possible. The third bedroom on the upstairs, the last bedroom, I decided to use for a nursery. I was originally going to put a second bedroom with bunk beds in here. I just figured, it's right off the master bedroom. If I had this house, I'd rather, if I had a baby, I'd put the nursery in there. So that's what I did. And as you can tell, it's like furnished just for a perfect little baby. Nothing too fancy. I did end up putting in the Zoo Animal Mobile in there, but nothing too up there. And a couple of decoration items inside the master bedroom. Downstairs, I put in a couple decorations items as well, and I started working on the staircase and fencing it in. Just making sure you don't fall through this, think that there's flooring there, and there's not. So I kind of wanted to make each room custom and not just have this plain drab white carpet look. So I fooled around a little bit, found what I liked for each bedroom, and I went with that. The master bedroom, I believe it was just a beige color for the master bedroom. But for the kid bedroom here, I went with kind of like this starry space theme for their carpeting. Went with blue for the baby room, and I went with a dark blue to play off all the light colors inside that room. And again, like I said, I went with beige inside the master bedroom. And now I just went ahead and carpeted up this area. You can never really have too much carpeting for your children. And originally I was just gonna go through, sorry, I'm like extremely tired right now. I wasn't really gonna do anything too fancy for the living room, but I decided to make like this X in the center of the floor out of these puzzle carpet pieces, which I just kind of made it feel more childly and childlike. For the main living room, I went with this circular rug. I'm not putting it in the wrong area, but so it's just this circular rug filled with polka dots and whatnot, and I love the way it has greens, which is the color I was using. And for the kitchen, I went with green and white stone. Again, I'm trying to use a lot of Crips colors that really play off dark woods really well. for the workout room, I went with this reddish laminate color. And then I decided I didn't like the grass that they had. They didn't really have grass. They just kind of had like this stone look to it. So I went ahead and I filled in the entire yard with this grass. And this is the Hidden Springs grass, I believe is what I used. I just loved how green it was and how grassy it looked, because it looks like real grass. And I sped this up as fast as I could without taking off portions of everything. So, just doing a quick touch-up, and again, filling in more areas to make sure every inch that needed to have grass had grass. And I went into the flower beds a little bit, so I touched that up, and I went ahead and put this pond dirt around the edge of the pond just to kind of make it feel more like a pond. And I bricked the walkway. And I realized that the ground was uneven, so I leveled that out a little bit more. So then I went ahead and put on the siding. And for this particular house, it was this bright yellow siding to it. And I didn't really like how bright it was, so I put a lighter, or a darker, I guess is the correct word to use, a darker version of it on instead. And then became the hardest part of putting the interior paint on. And I actually realized I don't think I put cars in the garage. That's the only thing I did not do. But I had a hard time figuring out what decorative wall I wanted to do for the kitchen, because I wanted the kitchen wall to be something different. I went with a tile background to kind of give you like a backsplash type of feel to the kitchen. And I like it because on top it has like these green diamonds, which kind of pays tribute to the floor and kind of like reflects the floor. Plus it has this light tile, which makes the kitchen feel so much brighter and lighter. So I went with the seashell tile in the bathroom. And for the playroom, I just decided to go with like this wave wall art here, just in one section to kind of, I don't know, you have the seashells and seahorses on the carpeting there. And I also did a waved textured wall for the living room area. And I'm just finishing up putting in different paints and stuff for each room, and making it measure and reflect the room's individuality. And there's the arch I decided to go with for the master walk-in closet. And each room has its own different set of lights. I think I cut the lights the same throughout the master bedroom, master closet, because that's technically one room, I guess you could say. So it took me a while to try to figure out what light I wanted to do for the main portions of the house, like the main walkway areas. I kind of had a hard time with it, so I finally decided to go with this straight light type of chandelier, which I really did like, and I put it as throughout the entire house. The kitchen had these beaded lights that I really like. And I put like these icicle lights inside the workout rooms over there, and then I put this straight block of lights in the main open concept of the base, or the bottom level. I can't speak. And then just very low lights in the bathroom. And I put some fence post lights outside just to kind of light your pathway. I wanted the space to be as light and airy as possible, but at the same time I wanted to make sure that there was enough light so like at night you don't risk anything. What I do like is that the fence that I used, you can put these lights pretty much anywhere you want, especially on the taller fence. I didn't put them too dramatically throughout the house, throughout the backyard, but I still felt like it was worth investigating in all those lights. And I did put cars in here. I did not think I did, but I ended up putting cars in. A truck and just a regular car, nothing too fancy. So the final thing I worked on was this deck area, and I did not really do too much in the backyard besides the pool and this area, just because, well, I loved the way this area looked. So again, I wanted to thank you guys so much for bearing with me. And we're just going through screenshots of the house right now. I'm sorry that this video took so long to get up. My internet wasn't working, and then everything just horribly went wrong. My class is an accelerated class, so it's twice the work in half the time, which is not easy. So I have 2 tests this week. I had one yesterday, I have one tomorrow, so I've been studying for that. And my internet crashed, that got fixed this morning, plus my computer decided that it did not want to save my video file. So I do apologize, and I thank you guys for bearing with me, and I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you.